On Monday, we observed Veterans Day as a nation, honoring those who fought valiantly and sacrificed themselves to defend the idea and the ideals that justice and mercy must be pursued and defended at all costs as we seek to defend those rights of others around the world. Indeed, our observance of Veterans Day can stand as a reminder that our freedoms, which we so cherish as individuals and as a nation, are central to who we are. This past Friday night, November 9th, Jews around the world recognized and upheld the idea that freedom is sacred in a very different way. November 9th marked the 80th anniversary of Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, the night that is associated often as the starting point of the Holocaust. In observing this horrific event in the history of our people, we are reminded that when human freedoms are violated or denied to anyone, the consequences can be unimaginable. The truth is that we often begin our educations about the Holocaust at the starting point of Kristallnacht. This honestly is the wrong point in history to begin. For when we focus on the atrocities rather than the sociology of the horrors that befell us, we open ourselves to some very serious blindness. The truth is that we often fail to see that hatred on such an enormous societal scale does not happen simply overnight. It must be taught and reinforced over the course of generations. The truth is that the starting point of the Holocaust was not Kristallnacht. It was rather the generational transmission of hate from one group to the next, from one society to the next, from one age to the next. For generations, Jews had been considered vermin. For generations, Jews had been blamed for things like the Black Plague. For generations, Jews had been systematically dehumanized. For generations, we were subjected to rhetoric that was filled with hateful stereotypes, vicious slander, and politically motivated lies. In other words, long before November 9th, 1938, German society and generations of European societies and generations of people like you and I throughout Europe had been taught that Jews were subhuman. When we say never again, we need to understand that never again starts with you and with me. We need to see each other as people. We need to treat each other equally with kindness in our hearts, extending ourselves with mercy. When we say never again, we need to recognize that it is our responsibility to stand up for each other when things are going wrong. Our fight for freedom and our remembrance of these fights for freedom, like that of Veterans Day, must serve to remind us in our day today that the freedoms and the liberties of all people are valued and important. Never again means that we need to stand up. Never again begins now. Never again demands a complete and total recognition of the fact that hatred in any form, in the form of speech, in the form of actions against others, cannot be tolerated ever.